Can I give y'all some information? That that line right there is absolutely goes against what the custom was at that day. Because in the Bible days, the younger served the older, not the older serving the younger. Why? Because the older got more prestige because they were the oldest of the family. Therefore, everybody that was up under them served the older one. God switched it and said, and the younger will serve the older. You want to know why? Because the older will be the one in which the lineage of Jesus Christ will come through. So sometimes we don't like how God works things out, and but you can't explain what God does in your life because you've been chosen.
Mm.
It ain't my fault that God chose me. Ain't nothing I can do about that. I didn't ask to be chosen. I didn't ask for God to talk to my mother in her womb and tell her that this young man was going to be. I didn't ask for that. God deemed it that way. So if y'all got a problem with somebody, take it up with God. Don't take it up with me. It ain't my fault. I'm in the text. He spells it out for the mama and tells the mama, you got two nations inside of you. The one's gonna be strong, one's gonna be weak, and the younger's gonna serve the older. What happens when you ain't got no control over what God has already said over you? What happens when you have no control over what God has already promised over your life? You can't do nothing but walk in it. Yes.
It is a mirror of the gospel. God choosing the unlikely, like Jacob, over the expected Esau, mirrors the gospel message. God chose David, the youngest. Jesus was born in a manger, not a palace. Salvation is for the humble, not the self-righteous. Why does this matter? This verse reminds us that God uses what's overlooked to fulfill his promises. It gives hope to the underdog, the misfits, and the one who feels disqualified.
We could call this a divine reversal. Notate that. Divine reversal. 23, verse 23, just put divine reversal. Again, the symbolism of the younger Jacob, we're good. The younger Jacob is chosen over the older Esau, flipping cultural norms. Let me tell y'all something. When God got a plan, divine reversal. When God has a plan, it don't matter what has been the norm for centuries. It don't matter what if it's been the norm for ages. When God got a plan, he'll flip everything just so that his will can be done. Can you do me a favor? And can you just utter these words and say, God, hold on. There it is. God, cause a divine reversal in my life in Jesus' name. And I'm expecting a divine reversal. I don't know how it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, who it's going to happen. I'm expecting a divine reversal in my life. Hallelujah. Of course, we are. We see here that God often works through the unexpected, the overlooked, and the secondborns. Right. So here's what I want to tell you today: you don't have to be first to be chosen. You don't. You can notate that you don't have to be first to be chosen. You don't have to be first to be chosen. Because God does what he wants when he's sovereign. He does what he wants when he wants to do it. You don't have to be first to be chosen. All right? Just keep reading. When her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. We know that. And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that, now I want you guys to notate verse 25, put it in the back of your mind because it's going to come up in a later verse that he came out, that he was red and hairy. Okay? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. All right? So here is Esau. So Esau's come out, hairy garment, and after that came out his brother, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. So it must have been, I'm just thinking birth wise, it must have been real close in birth for Jacob to catch Esau's heel on the way out. Okay? Y'all are mamas that have had kids. You got one birth, then you got another birth. I don't know how. In my mind, I see full body except for maybe the leg come out of Rebecca, and then Jacob grabs the heel of Esau. Okay, that he shortly comes out. Now, the meaning behind that, I'm pretty sure Cole is looking it up right now. She'll tell us because there is something behind that. Because Jacob was, that his one of his names was heel catcher, and so there are certain dynamics to that as well in that text. You got it? You got something? Okay. Um, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Tents, right? Esau was a hunter. Esau was cunning. Esau was, a big, burly, brusky, kind of man. And the Bible says that all that Jacob was just a plain man. Okay. Let me go back to that. So the conflict begins before they were born, and destiny is active even in hidden places. Um, Sometimes there's a lot of unseen battles that we don't see that happen in our womb season. All right, a lot of battles that are happening in our womb season. Your private wrestle is a part of your public calling. Please notate that. Your private wrestle, your private wrestle is a part of your public calling.
Last part, private wrestle is a part of.
Public calling. As it pertains to the babies, is another thing I want you to notate well as well. You ready? Here it is. You're not just carrying potential, but you're carrying prophecy. Isaac prays for Rebekah's barrenness. God answers. The twins struggle in the womb. God reveals two nations with the older serving the younger. Esau is born first, Jacob second, grasping his heel. Okay? Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, that's right. Just making sure. Okay. Esau's oldest, Jacob's the youngest. Got it. Again, God's sovereign choice will override cultural norms uh, of cultural norms that are going on in the day. God's plans often defy expectations, so we got to trust His process even when it feels upside down. Okay. Um, so here the kids are. They've grown up, and again, Esau's a cunning man, a hunter. You know, man of the field, and Jacob is just this plain man, just plain Jane, nothing special about him. Let's read it. Let's read some more. And Isaac loved Esau, right? Y'all see that in the text? Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. Oh, look at the next line. But Rebecca loved Jacob. Now, I ain't gonna get in y'all business for you parents that are here, but I love my kids equally. Let the record state I love my kids equally, and I don't have favorites. But in this text, you're already seeing the division in the family. Y'all see that there? Esau was loved by Isaac because he loved eating his porridge that he would make for his daddy. But Jacob was loved by Rebecca, uh, and it doesn't really say why. It just said that she loved him.
You think it's because God already told her that the older would serve the younger?
It could be. I think that could be a part of it. But when we read in the text, we start to see that sometimes the child has certain parts of the parent.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into it's gonna come up in the text too. Okay, but I think the reason why they connected is because they were very much alike, and that's why she loved him. It wasn't because he was just this wonderful kid. The Bible says he was plain. There wasn't nothing special about him. There was something within Rebecca and Jacob that made them close. And sometimes, when you're not careful, whatever issue you're dealing with, when you pass that down to your kids, that'll be the trauma that bonds you together. We're gonna talk about it, right? We're gonna get into it. We'll get there. All right. So watch this. Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of the venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sawed pottage, right? And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright over some food. Sell me your birthright." All right? Sell me your birthright, and I'll let you eat. Let's look at this from a mental standpoint, Bree. Let me talk to you specifically. You're not in trouble, but let me talk to you specifically. If the text tells me that Esau was cunning and a hunter, why in the world would he go to his brother for some pottage? When all he had to do was go out back into the field that he just came from and kill him an animal and eat the animal. Go ahead, Cole. I know you got something to go.
So it's likely because Esau was the hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means if you're hunting, that takes patience, that takes skill.
Right.
You're away from home a lot because you're out in the field and you're hunting.
Yeah.
Versus Jacob was a mama's boy. Jacob was home. He was a homebody.
Mm-hmm.
He was cookie. She taught him things. He was up under her. In my mind, that makes me believe that she was closer to him than she was with Esau because Esau was a hunter. He was rugged. He was out there in the fields. He was, hunting. He was away. Jacob was there. Jacob was right up under her. And because of her, we'll get into it, but because of her characteristics, she was able to manipulate and shape him into the trickster that she wanted him to be. We didn't get to that part yet, but we will.
That's crazy. Well, he probably wouldn't have got there in the first place.
And because Esau was away hunting, Jacob was there up under Rachel, and Rachel understood the importance of the inheritance. So I'm sure she talked to her son about the importance of the inheritance. Because why else would he say, "Sell me your birthright"? Who was in his ear? Who he always up under? His mama. Because he's a mama's boy.
Here's what I want you to note. You ready? Take some notes. Here's a note you're gonna take. Don't sell your future for a feeling. No, take that. That's a straight shot. Wow. Don't sell your future for a feeling. Here is capable of getting his own food, and now he's at the mercy of his brother, who just so happens to be a conniving, manipulating trickster that he never knew was coming. Jacob envied Esau because Esau was the oldest, and he knew that from the oldest was the birthright. So Jacob, I'm sure, was waiting for the opportunity, waiting for the moment where he can catch his blood brother, the brother that he's been in conflict with since before they were born, waiting for him to slip so he can say, now. There's a reason why Rebecca loved Jacob. Let's read. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. I can't say what I want to say on this live, but I know he could have said some things. Feed me. Okay. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? Now here is Esau trying to, in his mind, figure out what the birthright is going to do to him if he's dead. Trying to figure out, is it really that important for me to have this birthright? I'm starving. Here's what I want to ask you. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Here's what I want to ask you. Hold my hand, girl. Don't be scared. Here's what I want to ask you. I want to ask you this question. What is your appetite making you forfeit? What is your appetite? Notate that, please. What is your appetite? What is my appetite making me forfeit? I am in the text. He says, bruh, I'm about to die. And then he starts rationalizing what was only set for the oldest child that had any kind of type of inheritance connected to it, any kind of importance that had to it. He starts rationalizing. What is this birthright to me right now? I'm starving. What in your appetite is causing you to forfeit something that will probably bless you years down the line? All because you don't know how to go get some food and sit down somewhere. All because your appetite is driving you and not your destiny. All because your appetite is driving you, but not the inheritance, the spiritual inheritance, the physical inheritance, the things that God has placed inside your life. You forgot all about all them things, and your birthright can be second place to a bowl of venison that is pottage that at the end of the day ain't gonna make you healthier, ain't gonna do nothing, ain't gonna put life on you, it ain't gonna bless you with camels or donkeys or any kind of, it ain't gonna do nothing but feel a temporary satisfaction inside of you. The bowl is a short-term solution, but still a long-time problem. Because now you ain't got nothing. Here it is. The only thing you got to say that you were around is a bowl. That's all you got. You got a bowl. That's all you got. Your birthright is gone. The inheritance is gone. The blessing, gone. Over a bowl of food. Over something that you could have killed. You probably could have done with it. You probably could have went back out and said, don't worry about it. That's all you got. Let me go back out and kill something and come back in. Think about it. Any comments? And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him and sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. True.
Sorry.
Go.
Go ahead.
No, go.
It just it upsets me that you have this skilled hunter who could have easily gone out and killed his own food, which shows me that being gifted is not the same as having wisdom. Because I can be so gifted that I'm dumb. You ever seen those real artsy kids that has all the book smarts, but it's just
No common sense.
no common sense, no liquor street smart,
Yep.
no
nobody's home.
just all books.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got one in my house.
Just so smart, but have no common sense.
Smart with it.
Like, you're a hunter for crying out loud. And he was strong at that, but had no wisdom.
Just being lazy, honestly. To be
Mhm.
honest. Because you was not about to die.
You wasn't about to die.
No.
Being dramatic.
Being dramatic.
You
Come on,
were
little guy.
not gonna die.
Not so die. No, you would not.
Is it possible though that he was out there hunting and didn't find nothing? Because it said he came from the fields.
You
It
know,
don't matter though. Go
I
another
get it.
day.
It's still dumb. I'm just saying. Maybe he was already out there a long time.
Go back.
but even in that, like, and that's a good thought. It's a good thought process to think about. It makes you think though, like, was it that bad in the time frame that you can kill anything? There was no animal to kill. I highly doubt that. You know what I'm saying?
But like I said in the beginning, how did he make the food anyway? He had to have
Right,
gone
make a
out
money
and
cooking
killed
something.
something and brought something
Right,
back
previously. Right.
Because how did he have food to make?
Well, my question still stands. He despised his birthright, but he didn't even know what his birthright was. Or even if he had one, how are you communicating? So how does he despise something he didn't know?
He didn't care about it.
He didn't care.
No, he didn't.
He didn't care.
Think about the importance of the birthright. Think about everything that entails, right? And then, if you were Esau, you would despise your birthright too, because you literally gave everything that gave you a future up for just this little bowl of stew. All that was is stew, and he gave it up for that. That's why you got to be real careful what your appetite is in the season. You got to be real careful because your appetite will make you forfeit something that God designed for you to be blessed in. Got to be real careful. And here it is. I'm gonna be real frank with somebody. I'm gonna look down when I say this.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna look nobody away, but I'm gonna look down.
All right.
And I'm gonna tell y'all this. Sometimes being impulsive forfeits long-term blessings. Sometimes being impulsive, when you don't get the answer quick enough, when you don't get the next move quick enough, when you don't whatever quick enough, being impulsive would cause you to make a mistake that will cause you to forfeit probably be the biggest blessing of your life. Esau had hunting skills but lacked spiritual vision. Here it is. He could conquer animals but couldn't conquer his appetite.
That makes sense to me.
He could conquer animals but couldn't conquer his appetite.
That's so good.
No, take this. Don't trade eternal value for temporary satisfaction. Don't trade eternal value for temporary satisfaction. Again, don't sell your future for a feeling. Here's what you understand for what we've read so far, going back to Genesis 25:19. God's promise is generational. What you and I keep on saying this because I'm going to keep on saying this. This goes for all of us, especially those that have kids. What you do now is what they will live in later. Let me say that again. What you do now is what they will watch this dwell in later. Spiritual, physical, however you want to break it down, financial, however you want to do that. What you do now is what your kids will live in later. If you make horrible decisions now, you may think that your kids are strong enough to deal with it. They not. They're gonna they're gonna live and dwell in those mistakes that you decided to make now. Okay. Any kind of mishandling of whatever, your kids gotta pay for that. I ain't gonna tell my family business, but I will say that, when you for those of you that have ever, how many have been a caretaker before? Even if it was like a day, but you took care of somebody that was older than you, cool. For those of you that your parents are still living, or you got family members that you're close to still living, I pray to God that you don't ever get to that point where you have to take care of them, because if you do, you have to take on everything that they could not take on. Okay, it's a real situation. Nobody teaches you how to do it. It happens. It just happens there. You can't. There is no pamphlet. There is no flyer. There is no, oh, how do I go about it? Sometimes you got to learn in real time.
Yeah.
They don't teach us that, right? Especially if you're and from a culture standpoint, because my family's from the islands, from Puerto Rico. We take care of our own. We don't send them off to the nursing home and just let them sit there. That's not how we handle stuff family wise. We take care of them to the best of our ability, watch over them, cover them, and whatever that kind of thing. Other families are the same way. Other families in the Caribbean are like that as well. What I'm saying is that sometimes you deal with their whatever things that they mishandled. That falls on you if you're the caretaker. I'm only speaking from experience, right? So there are certain things that when my father passed away, there are certain things that I had to kind of resolve. I'm not the one that caused the debt, but I had to resolve it. I'll let y'all sit with that for a second. So it's going to come a time when you're going to have to do that. Now, I'm saying all that to say that if those things are generational, then that means that God's promise is generational as well, right? It's good and bad. But what you do now, right, like I said before, is what your kids will live in later. Perfect example, right? So make sure that what you're doing now is something that will set them up so that when you're out of here, they ain't going to be like, I can't believe they left me with this. I can't believe they left me with this. I can't believe they left me with it, whatever. Again, this is the account of family line of Abraham's son Isaac. Again, we go back to Genesis 25:19. God's covenant didn't end with Abraham. It continued through Isaac and would shape Jacob's destiny. See that? The covenant didn't end with Abraham. It continued through Isaac and would shape Jacob's destiny. Say it again. It didn't stop with Abraham. It went through Isaac and it shaped Jacob's destiny. So what I'm saying to you tonight is that whatever God is doing through you, it ain't just for you.
Right.
Because ultimately, not only is it going to shape your kids, it's going to shape your your grandkids' life and your great grandkids and your great grandkids of what you do now. All right. So your choices are going to echo beyond you. I think I said that last week. Your choices will echo beyond you. So what you do now is what your children will hear later, what they'll live in later, right? What I want to ask you that I was going to ask you earlier, but I'm going to ask you now, what is your goal? What is your goal? What is the thing that the enemy knows to tempt you with that will totally make you give up what God has given you? What is your goal? I want you to think about that. What is my goal? Whether it's a man, a woman, a struggle, addiction, whatever. What is your goal? I'm distracted easy. I'm not focused. What is your struggle? What is your goal? What is the thing that the enemy knows that he can give to you and you'll be like, yeah, I'm hungry enough. Let me take it. Because that gives us two questions. What is your appetite? And are you willing to give up your birthright, spiritual birthright, for this temporary satisfactory thing that's he's going to say it's going to satisfy you for the moment, but when reality hits and you really start thinking about that thing, you'll be like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I. Hey, I ain't trying to get in y'all business. I'm looking at my wife,
Thank you.
but I've been there before. I ain't call. I'm not talking to y'all like y'all here and I'm here. I done been there before. I know what that feeling feels like. Like I can't believe I allowed that to happen again. I just promised God I wasn't gonna do that. I just promised God. God, I ain't gonna do the boy. I ain't gonna do the boy. God, I ain't gonna do the boy. God, please don't get it. I ain't gonna do the boy. Please, God, please, God, please, God, please. I ain't gonna do the boy. Thank you for forgiving me, God. What happened? What SpongeBob say? What SpongeBob say? 2 hours later. Y'all, we got to be real with ourselves and with God. The enemy knows exactly what our bowl is. He knows exactly what to offer us at the most opportune time. Please do not think that Jacob just so happened to all that was strategic in my eyes. Strategic. You don't think the enemy knows your weaknesses? You don't think the enemy knows the very thing that's going to cause you to fold when you smell it? Okay. All right, child. All right, children, let's move on because I almost went somewhere. Hold on. I'm going to leave it alone. Because some things don't even got to be presented to you. You can smell it a mile away and you're going to fold already. You know what some of y'all... Ooh, let me shut up. And let me keep talking. You ever seen the cartoons where they smell something and then they start floating up and they start...
Yeah.
That's how some of us are. I'm going to say us, not y'all. I'm going to say us. That's how some of us are. Some of us are like that. When we get a whiff of what we want, we're done. I love telling the truth, y'all. I just love telling the truth. And guess what, y'all? It just goes. It ain't like we all. Oh, you talking about me? I'm talking about all of us. La da to everybody all across this here board. God, I thank you for your word. Woo, woo. Esau had hunting skill, but lacked spiritual vision. He could conquer the field, but he couldn't conquer his flesh. He could conquer the animals, but he couldn't conquer his appetite. Right? So we're going to make that even more plainer. He could conquer the field, but he couldn't conquer his flesh. And in the reversal of roles, the provider needed to be provided for. That's what we see. But that's what we see in this text, where now the person that provides has to be provided for. What do you do when you're weak?
Pray.
Right. That part.
Okay? Because there is something to draw from this text too, because now we're not just looking at it from Jacob the Trickster. Let's look at it from Esau the hunter. He worked hard. He did something. Like what do you do when you've been out in the field all day and you come to your place of rest and you feel weak, right? Because you got to know this, that the enemy is ready to give you what you want. He's ready to give you what you want. So how are you combating that? It's my question to y'all in real time. How are y'all combating that? How are y'all saying, you know what? That looks real good. I'm finna go to bed.
Right.
Or that looks real good. I'm finna go that way. That looks real good. I'll holler at you. Because you got to know that the enemy is ready to make you bold. Here is this big craftsman, big hunter, big just burly kind of man, and he folds for a bull. You got something?
I don't.
Okay. Here's what I want to ask you too. What time is it? We got 8, 10, 20 minutes. Here's what I ask you too. What I want to tell you. Well, what I want to ask you. Are you living like your life is a part of a bigger story? I'm saying that because sometimes we live our lives like this is who I am, this is how I'm going to be. Yeah. But if I told you that your life's choices were dependent on the next generation coming after you, would you live your life the same? If I told you that your great great grandchild will be a millionaire predicated on the moves you make today, this very second, you gonna still live how you live? I get pressed in my heart and in my mind daily. Huh? I get pressed a lot. You know why? Because when I leave here, my kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids, if the Lord delay his coming, can't live how I live. That's my thought.
Right.
That's my mindset. So I have to make moves and put things in motion to make sure that don't ever happen. Now ask me, have I done it? No, because I'm too busy worrying about the everyday today thing. You get what I'm saying? But in your mind, you got to think like, am I setting up my kids for failure right now? All right, so you have to move in the now and in the later. You got to move in the now and in the later. You got to move in the now, obviously, because this is where you're living at. But you also got to look. You got to have some kind of. You got to have some kind of vision for your family. You got to have some kind of vision for your future. You got to be able to at least look down the line and say, "Yeah, I think I can manage that. That I can manage." Because again, it's not just about the now; it's about the later as well. And Abraham thought about the later when he bought that lot of land with the cave in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He his. That's just something like when you have when you have a visionary type of mind that you can see things down the line to a certain degree. It's like you make those adjustments. So for me, I think it's my personal opinion, but like our grandparents or great grandparents, right? They were the ones that thought down the line. They weren't thinking for now. They were thinking that they might have thought for now, but it was like down the line. Why? Because you see certain moves that happened, it didn't make sense when they did it. Then you got 30, 40, 50 years later, it's like, that's why you did what you did. Right? So we gotta have the same kind of thought process, same kind of focus. Like, I understand what I'm doing with now, but I gotta have something for later. Any comments?
Yeah, I just want to double back on what you said. You said like, am I doing it now? No, because I'm worried about right now. But I will say yes in a way. I will say you are doing it now, even if you're subconsciously not even noticing that. It's just you living your life of integrity.
Mm.
You starting or planting LFC. It's going to precede you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your life of we look at those who were tricksters in the Bible, and we look at their lineage and what happened to them. Then we look at those who did things the right way according to God, and we look at their lineage. So even though we may not see, what we do, the bigger picture matters. It may just be our ordinary, normal thing. Brianka, your kids look at you tired, but go to work every day. That in their minds when they grow up, my mom pushed. My mom wasn't lazy. I can push. I don't have to be lazy. I can work for what I want. I seen her go from here to here if I trusted God. You planted that seed in them. So we may not see it all right now, but what we do now, even our normal everyday interactions, it does precede us. It will speak on our lineage and our legacy once we leave here.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like this huge big investment. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
always monetary.
That's true. I want you to notate this, please. Birth order. Birth order, background. Birth order, background, or brokenness. Birth order, background, or brokenness will not disqualify me. I will not be disqualified because of my birth order, my background, or my brokenness. It's just an affirmation that I want you to focus on. Sometimes we look at birth order or background or brokenness and we feel like we're disqualified. God said, no, no, no. You will not be disqualified because of your birth order, your background, or your brokenness. Sometimes we need to hear that. Sometimes we need to meditate on that. Let us know that, okay, God, you mean what you say when you say you're going to fulfill the promises that you put in my life. No birth order, no background, no brokenness will disqualify me from the promises of God and what God has planned for my life. The enemy is a lie. The devil's a lie. And his mama a lie too.
So that cancels out that middle child syndrome.
No, that's still true. That's still very true. All right. We live in a culture of instant gratification, right? Everybody wants everything instantly, right? But you can't allow yourself to trade purpose for pleasure. All right. You can't allow yourself to trade purpose for pleasure, choosing comfort over your calling. It's easy. It's simple. But in the long run, and in the short run too, it's gonna cost you something. It's gonna cost you something. What stew are you tempted by? Approval, comfort, shortcuts. Dwell on that. We got what time? 7, 8, 17. I'm just hit you with a couple questions. That's all. What stew are you tempted by? What bowl, when presented to you, will make you fold with that? Approval, comfort, shortcuts, compromise, settling, struggle, cycle, loneliness, acceptance. What's your stew? What stew are you tempted by? How can you protect your spiritual inheritance? Let's flip it. What does your birthright look like today? Your gifts, your influence, your spiritual legacy. What does that look like today? What is something that, even though you may not have a physical birthright, but what is something that you have? Your gifts, your influence, your spiritual legacy. What is something that you have that could be considered a birthright? And I want you to weigh it out. Is my birthright, is the stew more important than my birthright? I'm gonna tell you the answer. The answer is no. Never. It never will be. Right? Have you ever made a decision you regretted because of pressure or emotion? Everybody should say yeah. Yes, yes, yes. More emotion than pressure, right? But we done did it, Lord, and we sorry. Uh, how can we help each other value legacy over impulse? Again, there are things that we do out of being, out of being impulsive that cause us to, again, offer up our destiny quicker than we should. So how do we help value what we have as opposed to what we may be getting? What we have as opposed to what we may be getting, all because we just move by impulse. We're on 26. We got 10 minutes. All right. So that's Genesis 25, and then we're in Genesis 26, verse 1. Huh? Go. What? Oh, yeah. So, Ishmael had how many sons? 12. Right?
I wrote it down.
Now, here's something I want you to think about. Ishmael has 12 princes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I heard you Diamond and Bree talking about 12 disciples. It's a good thought process. It's another level to that number 12, right? Because number 12, it really defines like government. Like it really sets things in place. Like it really, it's a good structure. Number 12 is a good structure. Isn't it interesting that Ishmael had 12 princes that became little nation, like became a nation. But Israel, who is Jacob, had the 12 tribes of Judah, had the 12 tribes of Israel. Ishmael, 12 princes. Israel, 12 tribes. Ishmael, 12 princes. Israel, 12 tribes. Right? Y'all see that? Ishmael, 12 sons, princes. Isaac had Israel or Jacob. Jacob became Israel. Israel had 12 tribes. Well, why are you saying that so much, Pastor? Because the enemy loves to make a counterfeit to what God is already establishing. Because from the 12 tribes came the lineage of Jesus. And from Ishmael's 12 prince came absolutely nothing.
Because they ain't sound special at all.
None of them names sound special.
Correct.
So what am I trying to tell y'all? That the enemy will always try to bring a counterfeit to what God has chosen. And you see it in the text where the 12 sons of Ishmael are princes born first, right? But they have nothing connected to the covenant or the lineage of Jesus. And here comes God giving Israel 12 tribes. And through those 12 tribes, one of those 12 tribes comes the line of the lineage of Jesus. The enemy loves to bring counterfeits. He loves to, for example, right? You have true prophets, but in the Bible, you also have what? False prophets. Because the enemy always loves to bring the counterfeit to the real thing so that people can be confused. Can I tell y'all something? I want you to tell y'all something in secret. Nobody's watching us. It's just us here. Right? And then there are people that think in their minds that their hand of God is on them and they don't even know that they're part of the Ishmael tribe. You think you're doing something connected to God, and God said, my hand ain't in that. Watch this. My hand's not in it because my covenant's not in it. Here it is. Because Hagar, I'm going to flip this whole entire church. Because Hagar had a kid with Abraham, and that was born out of pressure, not purpose. And you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing for God with pressure. You got to do it with purpose. I'm sorry, I just got excited. You can't do nothing for God by pressure and think that God's going to back it up. It has to be through purpose. My bad, Diamond. You have Ishmael, his 12 sons, right? Ishmael was born through pressure. But Isaac, promise. There's nothing that you can do by pressure that God will back up. Because you're not going to pressure my God. You're not going to do it. But if you just stay still and allow God to navigate you through your life, He will complete a promise in your life that will cause you to be blessed way after you leave this world. 12 tribes of Ishmael, 12 princes of Ishmael, 12 tribes of Israel. One's counterfeit, one is the real thing. And what separates the two is covenant. God's covenant wasn't with Ishmael. It was with Isaac, the son of the promise. So there are a lot of people that think that God is with them and they don't even know. Nah, His hand ain't on you. 5 more minutes. Any comments? Let me start. 26. I'm sorry. It got real good. I'm sorry, y'all. And there was a famine in the land. We're in Genesis chapter 26, verse 1. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. Now, again, here is Abimelech. That was Abraham's buddy. Y'all remember Abimelech was the guy, huh?
You about to start lying. I'm just saying. Every time I hear that name, that's what I think of.
Let's read. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Now look at, if you're looking at verses 1 through 4, God is setting this up in a very great way for Isaac. It says, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. So he's saying, because your daddy was obedient to what I told you, or what I told him, I'm going to bless you with all that I told your daddy could have, right? That should set a precedent that whatever I do, I'm going to make sure it's going to be to the T what he said, right? Cool. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. Okay, so he's being obedient, right? And the men of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, she is my sister. For he feared to say, she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was too fair to look upon. Generational curse in plain sight. You acting just like your daddy. You made the same, you your daddy's son. Okay? Same mistake and all. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife. Now, I don't know what sporting means, but it must have been something that made Abimelech say, them jokers done got me again.
This one say caressing.
Well, that's sporting. There you go. He was sporting his wife, caressing her. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, of a surety she is thy wife, and how saidest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lying with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. I know he was upset. It's the second time that happened to him. The second time. Abimelech, you ain't got no kind of wherewithal to say something ain't right about you. You look like somebody familiar, right?
Even that line. This is
like that's what I'm saying.
What don't kick up inside you like, oh, no, like this. Who you got that line from? Who you get that line from? Right. My daddy. Right, I heard this before. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that touches his man, his wife, shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great, for he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants, and Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth, meaning that they covered them with dirt. Okay? And Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again. And Isaac digged again in the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence, and digged another well. And for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged another well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto him, wherefore come yet to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee, and we said, let there be an oath betwixt us. Ain't that something like some jokers? They see that the Lord is with you, now all of a sudden they feel like you need to be in your presence. Be aware that sometimes people only show up when they see the hand of the Lord on you. Sometimes people only show up when they see God doing stuff in your life. But weren't there a whole entire 2-3 years when nothing happening and God, but now all of a sudden God started blessing you. Now all of a sudden when they start popping up. It's right there in the text. I'm reading it. We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee, and we said, let there be an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee. Now they want to make a covenant with me, but they didn't try to feel me 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden they want to make I want to fellowship with you. Yeah, I want to No, stay over there and where you were for 2 years. It's a shame because some people are really like that. They're opportunists. They're opportunists, and they see God blessing you. Now all of a sudden they want to jump their wagon hit your wagon onto whatever you got going on. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. That thou would do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we've done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. Now that's something about Isaac. That's something mannerable. That's righteous. Even though he knew they were coming for a certain type of thing, he still made them a feast and sent them on their way. Right? Goes to show you how sometimes we got to make decisions that are kind of above us, in a sense where we know people's motives, but still bless them on the way out. Because they're on the way out. They're not staying long. Right? And he made them feast, they did eat and drink, and they rose up at bedtimes in the morning, and swear one to another, and Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, we have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah. We'll stop right there. Hope that you all were blessed by our Bible study as we're journeying through the Word. We are, again, every time we come to Bible study, we're always just thinking, how can it go from this to that? It's always something that it just goes from glory to glory, keeps on going higher and higher. So we'll be here. No, next week we won't be here.
Next week we will not be here.
So we won't have Bible study next week because there's a state mandatory training for all ministers, pastors, and elders. But next week starts our state conference, which will be at Penn 28.
Yes.
All right, that's Pastor Eddie D. Evans Jr., Lady Annie Evans, that's our pastors. Starts at 7 o'clock nightly, Thursday and Friday. And then Sunday, we'll only have one service. It will be at Penn. Let me say it again. We will not be here Sunday. Not only will we, I'm not next Sunday, not this Sunday, we're going to be here. Amen. Praise God. But the following Sunday. So next week, Wednesday, we won't be here. Next week, Sunday, we won't be here at 1, but we'll be at Penn at 10. Okay? We'll be at Pentecostal at 10 o'clock. It'll be one main service. After that, you can enjoy the rest of your Sunday because we will not have 1 o'clock service here next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday.
16th.
The 16th. Okay? So again, if you haven't registered yet, please make sure you register. Make sure that you're there for our state conference. Again, it's going to be held at Pentecostal, 7 o'clock nightly, Thursday, Friday. Sunday, it'll be 10 a.m. in the morning. So please, LFC, I need you to show up and support. Pretty please. Please, as you always do, make it past the proud. And then we'll go from there. Sunday, we'll be here again, 1 o'clock sharp. We're still in our sermon series entitled Thanking Through It. And so I do have a word from the Lord, and I'm excited to preach it. I haven't gotten the title for it yet, but it's a good word. Talk about Paul and Silas. Talk about Paul and Silas. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us for Word Wednesday, where we all grow together. Again, Pastor Cintron here. If you're in the Lake Worth Beach area, join us 7 p.m. On Wednesday nights for our Bible study, and 1 o'clock sharp on Sundays for our Sunday service, where we're here lifting up the name of Jesus as we go and serve. We're walking in liberty. We're living by faith, and we're